It's Ali Hamadiya here, and I want to welcome you all to the best damn arm wrestling sports show. I'm from Canada, and I've been arm wrestling for 5 years.
Clifton Erickson, Bismarck, North Dakota. I've been arm wrestling for about 10 and a half years.
And you got your host, Reza Domaganian from South Arizona.
Scott Wynn coming to you again from Los Angeles. What's up, fellas? How's Canada?
Today is super nice, man. It's very hot, which is very rare for us.
Yeah, you're getting that heat. There's supposedly a heat wave that's coming up the West Coast all the way up to Canada.
Well, the heat wave here is like 30, 35 degrees, so I don't know how that is in...
You're speaking European. You're speaking metric.
So,
I need you to speak in miles.
Why would it get
Inches.
70?
In what? In what?
In miles and inches and in Fahrenheit.
Okay.
I'm on a whole nother calculation.
35 degrees in
70.
Fahrenheit. 166 or something?
Damn, dude, if it's 166 degrees.
No, then it's not, baby.
That's impossible, bro. Like, oh my God.
35 degrees.
That was like double.
35 degrees in Fahrenheit.
No, I think 35 is like 80 degrees. 85. It's actually pretty
Yeah, I was
warm.
gonna say in North Dakota, I mean, it's pretty much the dingleberry of Canada. We're sitting at about 85.
95.
It's 95 degrees in Canada.
95 degrees in Canada.
See, Scott,
And in Alberta,
you should have voted for Al Gore.
Well, I think Alberta and North Dakota, we should be all around. I think the next 2-3 days, it's supposed to get up to like 101, 102.
Damn.
Yeah, it's super hot here, man.
Yeah, no,
Which I love it, man.
practice. Unless you're at Eric Wolf's house in the swimming pool.
Yeah, I wish there was a swimming pool here, but mostly mountains here.
So what was your last event, Ali? I haven't seen you for a while.
The one that I got an ass whoop with Justin Bishop. That was my last one.
So you had what, a super match with him?
I had a super match with him that didn't go my way at all. Justin is a really, really smart puller. He's strong, but he's more, I think, of a smart puller than he is a strong puller. So he knew how to play, the game to his advantages. I don't think it was a strength issue between me and him. It was more of a smart issue, and I was, it's just he was a better man that day. But yeah, I wish I can get that one back one day. Yeah, there it is. So what I was trying to do here, can you hear me?
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fast forward to the match.
So I think I learned a lot from this match. Actually, it was probably a good thing in disguise. So what I was focusing on and what I was trying to do with Justin is just try to basically cup. I didn't put any back pressure. What happened is when I was starting to set up with him at the beginning and I would put any back pressure, what he would do, he would lift his elbow like this.
So he wouldn't load with you.
Yeah, he wouldn't load anything with me. So when I was trying to, all I was trying to do is basically cup. And I think a lot of the matches that I do this, and that's why I end up going into hooks, obviously, where I feel like my move is more of a high hook or more a top roll, where I think I should have did that with him. So basically, like if you look here right now, look at what I did. So all I was trying to do is cup, and he was just pushing sideways. All he did is went sideways. So I was just trying to do this with no back pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
Makes
looked like you were just trying to do this.
I was just trying to do basically, I don't know if you can see, just trying to cup. So if I should have had back pressure right here, and then I tried to cup that way, like go that way, as opposed to try to just cup going sideways. So basically I was just going into his move, and all he was doing is that. It looked so easy to him.
Yeah.
Like me and him, like after pulling is after pulling, like I pulled him after, and after pulling is after pulling, whatever, right? And I felt
pulling doesn't count. That's the harsh reality. But
Exactly,
you probably
exactly.
felt some opening that you didn't or you weren't aware of
exactly.
prior to after pulling, which is why it was probably beneficial to get a grip up with him afterwards.
Well, I really wanted to. I don't like right now. After pulling is after pulling, like they say. I know how it feels when somebody comes up to you and says, well, after pulling and I did this after, well, after pulling's after pulling. Like what happened with Matt Mask and Hermes. And Matt Mask is one of the guys that I train with. So I will never make an excuse or never, take after pulling into considerations. He might have not even cared. Who cares? It's after pulling, right?
Yeah.
But basically, I learned a lot from that match. Like a lot. Like right now, obviously I'm working a lot on setups. I don't know if you know Fraser Benoit. Are you familiar with Fraser
Yeah.
Benoit? Yeah, so he's like a ref and he's been doing this for years. And I'm working a lot with him on my setups and all that. I feel like my hole is in my setups. Right? So, it was a good lesson that I learned.
What was your take on Matt's match versus Hermes, the second match over in Turkey?
So Matt didn't train for a long time. He had a lot of personal issues, of course, before. Now, this is not an excuse to him, but Matt, I think, had 3 months to get prepared for Hermes. And Hermes, his hand is super. I think he's one of the best top rollers in all of Europe, right? Like Vitali and him. So he was competing against somebody that was super, super strong, and he didn't have a lot of time to prepare for him. Now he accepted the match, he took the match, and he lost. Now, if you notice, one of the matches, which gave the second, I think it was the third match, because the first one he fouled out, the second one he lost, the third one he beat Hermes, right? So I don't think there was a big difference in power between them. It was even in one of the matches, like the fourth one, I think it was, he did move his hand a little bit. Now, if he had it just a little bit that way, it would have been a whole different game. Like it's inches, you know that, Rizzo, right?
Yeah.
It's inches. So if Matt Mask would have had just a little bit more, I think he would have won that even fourth match, and it would have been fireworks. Right? Matt doesn't care. Like I train with Matt Mask all the time. He doesn't care about after pulling. He doesn't care about like the last match that they did, it was match 6. It didn't mean nothing, so he didn't really care. Right? And I like I said, I train with Matt all the time, and you can beat Matt, he doesn't care in practice. You know what I mean? Or when it doesn't mean anything. Like Matt fired up, like most of you guys probably know, Matt fired up is a whole different level than Matt in a tournament, right?
Yeah, he didn't look the same like he did at that wall event when he arm wrestled Devin. That's the Matt I expected. And it wasn't the same Matt in Dubai.
Yeah. Well, he was fired up, I felt, and everything. Just Matt, he only had 3 months to prepare. So how much mentally, like when he was walking in, he knew he only had a few months to prepare for that match, right? So when he was going in confident. Like I didn't feel like he wasn't confident. He felt like he was confident, but still there is that thing in the back of his head that I have enough time to do this.
Yeah,
right?
I think he underestimated Hermes a little bit too, just because of how he handled him here in the US. You know what I mean? And I think he maybe underestimated that he could get to the level we got to.
Well, let's
another,
be
another
honest,
thing.
after WAL, after Hermes lost, he started training that day or that week. He was training.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hermes was like ready training. Like Matt became, I think, like 220 pounds or something. Like that's how light he was. Like he was really skinny when he first started. Like he gained a lot of weight, right? For that match for Hermes. So Matt had a lot of weight loss, and Matt is really hard for him to gain weight as well, right? Like Matt could eat and eat and eat, and it's hard for Matt to gain weight. So yeah, like I think he did good for the time that he had, but now he's like we were talking the other day, and he's like, I'll never stop like that again. I'm gonna start training again, and it gave him the fire back. And things in his life has gotten straight now, so that's even better news.
Now, you trained with him just recently?
I trained him a week before he left, 10 days before he left to Turkey. Right now he's quarantined. He can't leave the house for 2 weeks, and he can't do nothing for 2 weeks here. I don't know how it is in the States. You guys got it good. Here,
How do they control that?
They have an app. So they have an app on your phone. So if your phone leaves like the area, like you could put your phone in your home and leave,
Right.
right? But
Who
Do you
lives
wanna-
without the phone?
that's how they're
Right.
it's
They
bullshit.
started, didn't they just this last week start opening up local gyms and stuff now in Canada?
Yeah. Last week, last week was 2 weeks ago. We were able to go to the gym finally. But you go into the gym, you have to wear your mask when
Even if
you're
vaccinated.
No, what is that?
Even
Yeah.
if you're vaccinated.
No.
Even if you're vaccinated, but they're giving vaccination cards. I know Ryan Eskew put a video out that he had his vaccination card. So they are, I think, gonna do with vaccination. They're gonna do something. I think with passport.
My father
vaccination.
works in California, and his company is making it so if you don't have a vaccination, you actually have to wear a badge that says
Oh
that
my
you're
God.
vaccinated.
That's-
You have to wear a
you
face
kidding me?
mask,
How is
and
that?
if you're
That's like-
vaccinated, you don't have to wear a face mask or a badge.
Oh my God.
That's how California.
This is getting crazy, man.
Yeah.
Simon says,
Well, I thought the States was better than Canada.
it all depends on where you're at, bro. Like LA's would be worst, I think.
That's why I'm in Arizona.
Most-
I was gonna say,
Aren't you like a few hours away?
We got nothing here. We're good.
No, I'm like 8 hours from Scott. He was actually looking to come to my house, and he saw how far it was, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll see you another time, bro."
Fly out there.
That is crazy, man. That's crazy how things are with this Corona shit.
So what's in
Can't
your
wait.
future, Ali? What are you looking forward to? What's any events or super matches you might have?
There's nothing right now that I have. Like there's one guy that wants to pull me, a new guy here in Canada. His name's Ty. I got a message from him. He wants to pull me, which I don't mind like starting up something like that. Not taking him lightly, but just starting up again, and getting my confidence back up. And then I really want to go. I like to go to California. Like it's close. Like when are you guys having competition in California? Like when's the
We got the California State Championship is in January again. So that's
that one?
that's a good one.
That's a good one to go to. IFA Worlds is another good one to go to. That one's my brother lives in Miami.
Oh, that's perfect.
So I'm thinking I want to do that one, IFA, because that one's in October. You told me, Rizal, right?
Yes.
September.
September. Okay.
September.
Yeah.
What is it?
September, yeah.
Okay.
September. So that's something on my list as well to do something maybe IFA.
That'd be a good one. That'd be fun.
Yeah, there's something going on in Alberta here in August. I want to do that. Like I want to go do a little bit of competitions here locally before I start to head out, to the States and to something like a Worlds, right?
3 guys I want to ask you your opinion on pulling them. Ilya Sadov,
Yeah.
Ole Mosier.
Who's the second?
Ole Mosier.
Oleg. Okay. Yeah.
He recently actually had a win over Ilya
I saw him.
Hawthorne.
Jordan Sill. He beat
Yeah.
Jordan.
And then the third factor would be Roman Gromov.
Roman Gromov. Okay. So Roman, Ole, I've both gripped up with them. Ilya, I've never gripped up with him. The last time I saw Ilya was when me and you and him were hanging out together.
Oh,
That is the last time I
for Fremont Street.
the hookah.
Yeah,
So
good stuff.
Ilya, I have never gripped up with Ilya. Ilya's like a friend of mine. I consider him a friend of mine, so I would love to pull Ilya. Ole, me and him have gripped up. He's beaten me in competition. But I've gripped up with him, like I said, after pulling is after pulling. And Ole, I like that kid. He's a super nice kid, super cool kid. And he was like, man, in competition and in practice, you're two different people. He's like, so my main goal is I want to make sure that I'm as strong. Practice is practice, whatever. But I want to make sure that I could use my strength in a competition. So Ole, I would love to pull him.
Yeah, happy birthday, Oleg.
Happy
I know
birthday.
you're going to be watching.
Happy
that.
birthday, Ole.
Welcome
He's
to
younger
the
too,
Old
like-
Man's Club.
And then
20
Roman Gromov, I just messed around with and stuff like that, and he's pretty strong as well. So I would pull any of those guys. I'd love to pull any of those guys.
Yeah, I would say that they're probably the top 3 in the United States, in my opinion, at this current time in that weight class.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They're 165ers, right?
Yeah.
And
No,
Roman can make a 154 if he really wants to, but
yeah, and Oleg's not pulling 165 anymore, that's for sure.
76s now?
76, I mean 85. I think dude, he's just a kid. He's gonna
Getting
hit 200 pounds.
I don't think I want to pull 165ers anymore either, man. I'm really heavy already, man. I'm over 190 pounds right now.
Yeah, what how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're probably gonna put on a few pounds here in the next few years.
Yeah, so I'm like, my whole arm wrestling career, I was around 180 pounds walking around. But this last year or so, like during COVID, gyms closed up, you get lazy a little bit. I've gained some weight, but I don't think I'll ever want to go to 165 again.
Yeah,
176 is a good weight class for me.
How
I'm
about
5'10". I'm like Oleg's size, around Oleg's. How tall is Oleg? 5'10", 5'9" and a half?
Oleg's probably, yeah, I'm gonna say close to 6 foot.
Yeah, I think me and him are around the same height. I remember when I met him.
how about you,
But you're-
Clifton? What's your future holding in store?
heal up. And once I'm done getting healed up here, which I'm thinking I've been healing up now, like I said, with my pronator issue that I had, that was probably a good 6-week rehabilitation thing. And because of me, I'm stubborn. I keep arm wrestling when I'm hurt and slowly work into it. The blood flows, it numbs it. I'm like, oh, good, 1000%. Next day, I'm like, okay, it hurts. But that's all healed up now. And then now I have the side pressure. I'm going on about 4.5 weeks on that. Another week and I should be good. I have practice tomorrow, so we'll see how it feels. And once I get the blood flowing, other than that, it's going to be mainly try to get out and hit some more tournaments. I was going to try to get to the Minnesota States. I was just this last weekend.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anybody to watch my kid, so I'll probably be hitting up the NBK tournament here. That's going to be July 17th in Minnesota.
Very good.
Try
What do
to
you
get that
weigh?
going.
What's your weight?
230.
Damn, you're up there.
Yeah, I'm usually when Rez met me, I think I did the 198s 2015 in WL, but I weighed in at like 182, I think 183.
Wow.
But I started at 154 and then just worked my way up. I've always been the small kid and got sick of being the small kid. And
Yeah.
now all I do is power lift and do this and try to combine them, which
Looks like you got a nice setup there, Bubba.
Yeah.
yeah, I got about 900 and some pounds of plates in my gym here in my garage, and then fold down racks and pulleys, and I got everything.
I do back pressure with about 900.
Yeah, yeah. That's I'm a huge side pressure, back pressure person. Off the go, I'm always loading like super hard, which sucks because like he was saying with Justin Doctor how they kind of let loose. That's like my kryptonite. I hate it because I get out of my element. I'm like, I just want to put all my power right here and be ready to go. So with this injury here, right here at the bottom of the elbow, can't put as much this, but once it gets warmed up, I feel good. The thing that's weird with me is it takes me like 20-30 minutes to actually warm up, and that's me hooking up pulleys to my arm and arm wrestling people and stuff like that. And then after I'm done getting warmed up for about 20 minutes, then I'm pretty much the strongest that I've been the entire night.
That's the best thing you're doing right there is warming up to the point to where you're like, we have a really good warm-up session when we train. So we get to the point of fatigue with just light dragging back and forth, side to side, just doing all the movements to where you're like, oh yeah. And now
Scott, I wish it was the smart thing. Jake Houston gives me crap all the time because it's not even me being smart, it's me being stubborn at the table going, dang it, it freaking hurts. And then I just keep on pulling and pulling, and finally I'm like, it's good now. We're good. Yeah. I know I've been touting for the last, 3-4 years. Joseph Drellick, Jim Finley, he's up in Canada, Ryan Espy, they all give me crap that I don't give myself enough breaks. I'm always balls to the wall, constant. If I'm not arm wrestling, I'm deadlifting, benching, or squatting. And if I'm not doing that, I'm doing strict curl comps. And it's just,
You gotta give yourself rest.
yeah,
Yes.
that's my downfall. But after my last two major, I'd say my last two bigger matches, I would say was that went poorly for me would have been Sonny Larson. That did not go too well for me. And then Steven Logsden opened my hand like a Pez dispenser, which that hasn't happened in a long time. And
The kid's
when
good
that
there.
happened, I started really training cupping. And even when I'm hurt, I mean, I'll go in my garage and just sit here and, you know, so.
You guys like to warm up before competition?
Yeah,
So
I
there's
do.
Yes.
a lot.
Okay, so
No, I'll usually grab a band and just get my tendons ready for some restricted pressure, you know?
Okay.
So
But
there's
no, I won't overdo it. Like I ain't trying to get a pump then.
a
You're
few
not getting a
different-
pump.
No.
Ali, there's a few different approaches. You have explosive starters like Alan Fisher.
Yeah.
Prior to a tournament, he'll grip up with somebody who's limp, so there's no pressure in their arm, and then just hit their arm 20, 30 times. So he's just got his cadence, his hit down. That's his interpretation of warming up.
Which muscle?
Now, there's other people,
He's
like when
rare.
I went to Zloty tour, almost all the guys from Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
the night before the tournament, they're on a treadmill for like 5 hours. That's after weighing in. They're still on a treadmill. Then the
Wow.
day before the tournament, they're on a treadmill for like 30 minutes. Then they go to
And
the
they have
tournament.
sex like 5 times before the
What
thing.
do they do?
No.
That's what I heard. That's the rumor I heard.
Well, that's Bulgarian. That's different. Yeah. So Bulgarian, and that's a specific Bulgarian. We won't go into that story. That's a whole other story. So they'll get on the treadmill, and then before the tournament, they'll work with bands. And now, if you look at like other athletes, they'll train in prior to a tournament. They'll work slips.
Yeah. Because they want to slip,
They
obviously.
want to go to strap, and then
Yeah.
they'll just get the blood flowing by working different motions with their arm. Me personally, I believe a combination of getting warmed up on the table with a good training partner who's not going to rip your arm off, that just gives you
Yeah.
like 15%, 20% where you're working the motions, kind of getting the rest out of the muscles, and then get a light band, a really light band, and go. And then I hit the light band, and then get your quick twitch activated with that, because most of the time, like I would be Alan's punching bag when he would warm up. So I'd put my arm up there and he'd hit my arm 10 times and he'd hit my hand so hard against the fucking table. I'd tell myself, I'm never doing that shit again. The next tournament would come and he'd be like, I need someone to warm up with, and look around. No one
You're
would
like-
do it. And then I'd be like, fuck, okay, I'm doing it again. Here it goes. Bam, 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 you know, but for the most part, people aren't going to be a punching bag like I was.
That's why you're called his right-hand man.
Pretty much, I guess.
So that'd be my approach, and it depends on also the way that you arm wrestle. If you're an endurance puller, you might need a little bit more time, or a defensive puller where you're catching
That's
somebody's
usually how I
move,
am. That's usually how I
need
am.
more time to warm up, like 20 minutes. And sometimes I found with defensive pullers, they don't actually start arm wrestling until their third match in a tournament.
Right here, man.
So
I'm like, I just like to I don't warm up at all. And I feel like a lot of tournaments, I feel like I get so many like minor or major injury, not major like breaks and stuff, but I get injured a lot of times in tournaments because I don't think I warm up.
well, yeah,
Because
like-
Matt doesn't like to warm up at all. Devin doesn't like to warm up at all either. So
Imagine
they just
sprinting-
walk in
yeah,
without no
imagine-
warm ups.
Imagine sprinting as fast as you could for a quarter mile. Just ran out the door right now. You ran as fast as you could for
Yeah.
a quarter mile. Tomorrow, more than likely, you're gonna wake up sore. The next day, you're gonna be like stupid sore. All because why? You didn't stretch, right? Or warm
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. No, I think warm up. I'm
all you can
like
do-
right now, I'm probably gonna start warming up before every tournament for sure.
Ollie,
Like
Ollie-
20 minutes, half hour.
all I can encourage you do is attempt to warm up prior to an event and see how it influences your performance,
Yeah.
and then go from there. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I believe warming up prevents injury, muscle tears, it'll also prevent blowing up. A lot of guys, they get blown the fuck up in matches. Well, if you would have properly stretched before the event, if you stretch between every match, if you elevate your arm like most athletes do, those are all things to help, you know. So I just think try it out, see how it works for you, you know, and if it works for you, then emphasize it in your events.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I think
And I do
before
exactly
every
what you-
practice, we usually warm up, right? So
Yep.
I'm thinking same thing I should do in tournament. Just the past few years, I don't really warm up. The last one, Roman warm up, like the last competition, I warmed up a bit with Roman. He's like, you need to warm up. I'm like, well, Devin and Matt don't warm up. I don't like, you know, I don't think I should warm up. It's like, let's just warm up a little bit. And we warmed up a bit before the event, but like very minimal. Like
Prior to
minutes.
your match with Justin, did you not warm up at all?
A little bit, I did. A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I didn't feel like I got blown. My hand wasn't blown in, like my left arm wasn't blowing up in the match or anything like that.
Well, no, I've had lots of matches like that where you get done arm wrestling and you're like, fuck, it doesn't even feel like I arm wrestled. And that's because he took
my
so much
left. That's what
control.
happened.
Yeah, he took so much control of you in the match that afterwards it's like, fuck, I didn't even get a chance to like feel what a good match is supposed to feel like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what happened with me pretty much. Exactly what happened. I just didn't feel like I even arm wrestled at all with him, right? Like he was really like, we were all referees grip even. So every single match was a referee grip, close your hand, close there, and boom. I didn't even.
But his close his hand is like that.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know how he did it exactly, but it wasn't that he low handed me.
It's
Basically.
not like this. It's
Like
like
that.
that. So he's already taking the pronation he needs for his move prior to the match beginning, and that's why it felt so difficult for you to gain control.
Yeah.
Next time, if you arm wrestle a person who does a low hand, you need to tell the ref, don't let him start pronated. Get him straight. Get him straight. That's something you messed up in communicating to the ref. You got to communicate with the ref and tell him, hey, ref, look at him. His hand's turned over. Take your hand back from the match. Don't allow it to happen. Take a foul, but take a foul because you're in a ref's grip, and if you pull your hand out of it, you're going to take a foul. But take a foul to at least acknowledge what he's doing, or acknowledge it, and if the ref doesn't say anything about it, then pull your hand back and take the foul. You see what I'm saying? But
I have to pay attention to that first. Like I that's the problem with me. Is that's why right now my training is completely going to change. It's table time. Like most of my.
Does Matt encourage, or do your other training partners encourage you doing other techniques other than the low hand?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, like are you hooking? Are you doing a press? Are you like going into a top roll, someone separates you, getting your shoulder behind it and pressing? Like, are you doing other variations of techniques, or are you focused mostly on the low?
I do everything pretty much.
Okay.
I just do whatever, like I do everything. I don't really focus on my setups before, but now I'm focusing on how I should set up with everybody. So this guy's low. What is that? Oh yeah, I have one of those, but I don't use it too often. Do you guys use that? Do you guys like to use something like the gripper?
Fucking nonstop, bro. It's one's in my car, one's next to my bed, and one's in my pocket just in case I get lucky. But yeah, I'm always squeezing.
It's a good. I think that's a good idea because that way you heal that elbow.
It gets blood circulation. It's a tension reliever, but most of all, dude, you're working your hand. Your hand, dude. You're strong. I felt how strong you are, dude. You just need to get your hand even stronger so you can start controlling more in the matches.
Yeah, if you don't have elbow pain, that's gold. But if you have elbow pain,
this helps. Yeah, this will help too.
Reverse extension is going to help. This comes from
you're talking. Yeah. That's for the outside.
So you need to do reverse extension to counter the pain here by training the other side.
Yeah. Well, right now, my right arm, both, like I used to have a lot of issues with my inner elbow. This past couple of months, this healed up very good. Like especially my right. My left, I feel a little bit on the opposite side now. Like that side. So what I'm doing right now is basically everything in the gym is just rehab. I am not trying to lift weights. Today I did bicep curls, 40 pounds. So I'm just trying to get blood flow.
Yeah, you're not trying to increase your max rep. You're focusing on just repetition and movement.
That's all I'm focused on. And then I'm going to go to practice and I'm going to train my arms because my IQ on the table is very bad. That's what I feel. Like that's where I feel my weakness is. It's not a strength issue. It's more of a technical and a setup issue. So
Well,
that's my main focus.
Here's one thing of advice. Chant Shaw has been doing some pretty impressive things recently. And when I spoke to him and I asked him who trained him, he actually said it was from reviewing footage on YouTube. Now, if that statement's true,
Yeah.
it just means that you just need to do some research on YouTube and identify how the setups are taking place. Now, me, I learn differently than he does. I need hands-on experience with somebody who actually knows those forms of manipulation and is capable of elaborating it. There are lots of arm wrestlers that know how to do things, but aren't very good at elaborating on how they achieve those things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. There's probably not an arm wrestling video I haven't seen online. Like I've seen every map, but I should be focusing on specific things like setups and all that, and how I should set up and how I should, do my move and all that. Because most of my matches that I'm in is always in a hook. And most people you ask that don't know me will tell you I'm a hook puller. I am completely not a hook puller.
You're a top roller.
I'm a top roller.
Yeah, yeah.
More of a top roller guy. You know what I mean? But a lot of the guys that you ask them, like, what is my main move, is because, like, if you ask my training partners, they'll all tell you I'm more of a top rolling guy. But if you look at my matches, most of them are hook matches, and it's because my setups that I'm starting, it gets me to that position basically.
I'm the same way, Ollie. I would much rather go outside all day long.
Oh, for sure.
Right? I get in hooks, like probably 75% of my matches go inside. And I don't want to go there, but I go there. I don't know. I go there. I'm
something
going
wrong
there.
then with your setup. There could be something wrong with the setup, because that's the
Yeah.
like if you look at good top rollers, they lose, but they don't lose. Like good top rollers sometimes lose with like more, not an inside move. They'll lose more like a flop wrist press, or they'll lose somewhere but outside. Like good top rollers, right? They don't get inside. Like if you look at a lot of the good top rollers, I feel like even if Matt, when he was going against Todd Hutchins, how did Matt Mask lose? He didn't lose inside. He lost more of side pressure. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, again,
there's something wrong with our setups.
think of it like this, Ellie. When your focus is to go sideways, you're engaging muscles going this way, but now you're susceptible to back pressure. And when
Yeah.
you're engaging back pressure, you're susceptible to side pressure.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
So you
saying?
have to have a middle.
Change of direction.
It's not just a
100%.
change of direction, but it's also when I'm engaging my lat, I can't get my pec engaged completely until I change to this direction or a side drag. You see what I'm saying? So in between those transitions, you have openings. And I think as you get more comfortable with those transitions, the setup, the way that you're engaging your techniques will all come together, because the setup, in my opinion, like reviewing your match with Justin, he started like this on you, which sets you up kind of like this a little bit, which already turns your hand over.
And if you're
And
concentrating,
he just did this.
if you're
Just did this.
concentrating solely on your cupping, like you were saying on the beginning, if he's starting like this, so you're starting back like this, and you're solely concentrating this, you're scooping under his hand to be taken.
100%. You're right. Yeah. And he didn't even use any back pressure. Like when I think of it, I remember the match. He used zero back pressure. He just used side pressure and then this way. He just went like this. And I gave him what he wanted exactly. Because I'm doing this. So if he's doing this, my hand just went like this in it.
In the future, do you think you'd want a rematch against him?
100%. 100%. Like I don't doubt myself one bit that I have the strength to beat the man.
How much
Like you-
do you weigh now?
190-ish.
Yeah, 190.
I'm over in 190.
No, that's good because
Like-
Justin's walking around at about like 190, 195.
Me and him size wise are very similar. He's a bit taller than me. I'm maybe a little bit stockier than him, but size wise we're very, very similar in size.
You're like Baskin's height, right?
What, say again? I
Calling you
didn't get-
5'3", Ali.
What is that?
I said Vazgen. You know Vazgen?
I know Vaskin, but that guy's really short.
I
Yeah.
thought you were like the same height.
No, come on, man.
Ollie's like
5'10". No offense to
5'10",
basket.
Yeah.
Kidding. Now that's good tall for his size.
Well, guys, we're winding it down. We got a minute left. I appreciate having you on, Ali. I appreciate
Thank
having
you. I
on,
appreciate it.
Clifton.
Yo,
Both
go
of you guys,
Canada.
looking forward to both of your careers. Till next time, guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Good to see you guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Peace.
Nice meeting
Yeah.
everybody.
Nice to meet you, man. Have a great day, guys.